Good day everyone, this is the Group 2 and we're here to report about provide cashiering services with 4 topics. First, job role for hotel front office cashier. Second, prepare guest folio. Third, record guest transaction to guest account, types of front desk guest transaction. And fourth, collect cash, cash equivalents, or non-cash transaction and process payments and receipt reconcile financial transaction at the end of the shift. Here are the learning objectives. First, to know the job roles for hotel front office cashier. Second, to know how to prepare guest folio. Third, to understand the importance of record in every guest transactions. Fourth, to discuss and identify what are the types of front desk guest transactions. Fifth, to define cash payments, cash equivalents, or non-cash transactions. Sixth, to determine the process and procedure of cash payments, cash equivalents, or non-cash transactions. Seventh, to know how to process payments and define what is receipt reconcile financial transaction. I am Nina Camille S.B. Vicente and I'm going to report about job roles for hotel front office cashier. Hotel cashier collects money from guests for their lodging accommodations and any other fees that may incur during their stay, including parking, valet, room service, and telephone or computer use fees. He or she is also commonly required to maintain related records and files regarding financial transactions that takes place at the front desk. His or her job normally entails answering guest inquiries regarding fees and services. Here are the job roles for hotel front office cashier. Operates front office posting software. Obtains the house bank and keeps it balanced. Opens the guest folio and makes all charge postings in the guest folio. Assists with distribution of month-end reports as directed by accounts or front office managers. Maintains a track of all balanced guests. Check and follow up on all bills on hold. Handles paid outs. Completes guest checkout procedure. Settles guest account. Handles cash, traveler's check, credit card, and debit card settlement procedure properly. Manages safe deposit boxes. And balances cash at the close of the shift. Customer service skills are needed for this job, as well as the ability to work well with other hotel staff personnel.
Hi, I'm Charlene L. Avizo, BSHM3 Bravo. My topic is all about prepare guest portfolio. Folio. Front office transactions are typically charted on account statement called folios. A folio is a statement of all transactions, debits, and credits affecting the balance of single account. So how will you prepare a guest folio? Just after the guest entry, the front desk clerk create a guest folio with inclusion of guest name, room number, date of arrival, date of departure, room rate, guest address, billing instructions to cashier. The process of recording transactions on folio is called posting. A transaction posted when it has been recorded on the proper location and a new balance has been determined. Why is it important to have a guest folio? Guest folio is considered as the master bill in the hotel, which is also known as guest account card. A guest folio contains all transactions of both cash and credit occurred by each resident guest. A folio is a list of your charges. For example, phone calls, minibar, laundry services, room service, valet, and etc. Anything that is billed to your room. Hotel maintains separate folios. Typical ones are guests. There are 4 different ways in doing transactions. First, handwritten folios, if it is using a non-automated system. Second, machine-written folios with a semi-automated system. Computer-based electronic folios with a fully automated system.
I'm Sheena Pagkabis and I'll be discussing the record of guest transaction to guest account. So first, let me define what is guest account. What is guest account? Guest account is a record of financial transactions which occur between a guest and the hotel. Guest accounts are created when guests guarantee the reservations or when they register at the front desk. During the occupancy, the front office is responsible for keeping the records in every guest's transactions, thus affecting the balance of the guest account. The front office usually seeks payments for any outstanding guest account balances during the last stage of the guest cycle, which is the checkout. However, there is an instance that the front office will ask for the payment of the outstanding balances even though the guest is still on the guest cycle, and that happens when the guest had already reached the house limit, which means that the guest had already spent the amount which they can consume while staying at the hotel and can only then will pay on the day of their checkout. For example, if the front office is to enforce the hotel's house limit, guest who exceeds that limit may be asked to settle part or all of the outstanding balance. When there is a house limit, account settlement action is initiated when the account balance exceeds a predetermined limit, not at the time of the checkout. Recording guest transactions to guest account is undoubtedly important as it obviously serves as an extra income of the hotel. The hotel aims to give the guest a satisfactory experience, hence hotel expenditures arises. That is why the hotels sell goods and services to add some extra income. That is why front office must be on track in every guest transaction so that they can ask the guest for the payment that they consumed and can avoid or prevent lost income or deficiency.
And I'm going to discuss the types of front desk guest transactions. First, what is a folio? A folio is a statement of all transactions that has been taken place in a single account. There are basically 5 types of folio used in front office accounting. They are: first is the guest folio. It is an account associated with a single hotel guest that all transactions between the hotel and the guest are recorded into the guest folio. All single guest information is also saved into the guest folio. Next is master folio. It contains account for more than one guest, more common for the entire group master is prepared. In small hotels, a master folio contains the financial details of all the guests staying in the hotel. By seeing through it, one can find easily the net credit or debit balance for the day. Third is non-guest or semi-folio. It is a hotel folio that contains a record of a walk-in customer that is not visitor and who not stay, with transactions between the hotel like renting hotel amenities such as fitness center, sports, pools, and etc. Next is employee folio. This folio contains credit transaction between hotel and its employees. The folio is created and maintained for employees to whom the hotel has permitted credit facilities, and the amount is later collected from the employees or deducted from their salaries as per the hotel's policy. Lastly, the split folio. It is frequently created to accommodate special circumstances or requests. By a guest may request that his or her charges and payments can be split between 2 personal folios that to be paid by the sponsoring business, or one to be record as personal expenses that to be paid by the guest.
Good day, I am Angel Marian Binori. This time, we will discuss about cash payments and cash equivalents or non-cash transaction. Cash payment. In cash payment, guests used paper-based money and coins as a means of payment. When guests indicate during registration that they will pay their bills with cash or personal check, the front desk clerk should immediately be on the alert, because a guest may very well charge everything during his or her stay at the hotel and then exit without paying. Consequently, most hotels required cash in advance from the guest who chose this method to avoid incident mentioned, and since the guest has not established any credit rating with the hotel. To process a cash payment, the following procedure can be used. First, check the daily currency conversion rate when converting foreign into a national currency. Second, retain the amount tendered outside the cash drawer until the transaction is completed. Third, maintain an orderly cash drawer with bills separated by denomination. This helps you easily identify the money and will not confuse you. Fourth, develop an orderly procedure to make change from the amount tendered. Fifth, count the change out loud when giving it to the guest. 6. Perform only one procedure at a time. Refuse to make change for another bill of a different denomination if a previous transaction has not been completed. The last is issue a receipt for the transaction. Cash equivalents or non-cash transactions. Cash equivalents refers to checks, money orders, debit or ATM, and credit card transactions. Non-cash transactions is a payment instrument no longer use money in physical form. One example of this is the debit or check cards. Debit cards or check cards are embossed plastic cards with the magnetic strips on the reverse side that authorize direct transfer of funds from a customer's bank account to the commercial organization's bank account for purchase of goods and services. To process a debit card payment, the following procedure is used. First, insert debit card into validation machine. Second, have guest entered personal identification number. Third, process debit card voucher as a cash payment on the guest folio.
Payment processing hotel. The following procedure is used to process a bill to account payment. The first one is request corporate or personal identification. Number 2 is to check to be sure the individual is authorized by the account holder to bill to the account. Number 3 is to note any credit limit per employee. Number 4 is to note any red flags on the credit file due to non-payment bills. Number 5, note authorized signature. Number 6, enter charges into the point of sale terminal along with bill to account identification. And the last one is once this information is entered into the POS, it becomes entered into an electronic folio in the city ledger of PMS. So reconciliation, in its simplest terms, reconciliation ensures that money leaving an account is being properly spent and that the bank records accurately reflect the transactions. So the functions is to ensure proper documentation and approval of transactions in reconciliation. So the first one is transaction recording, documentation, and follow-up. So example of duties is to collect receipts and to reconcile daily receipts to the cash register totals. Number 2 is authorization and approvals. So examples of duties is to reconcile the receipts issued to maintain numerical order, reconcile and verify the register beginning and ending balances, and perform surprise cash counts on an annual basis or during staff changes. So the last one is segregation of duties. Reconcile bank accounts to major cash handling deposits, perform receipt number reconciliation control, reconcile and control register, transaction or dollar values, and control and authorize error, void, and or refund transactions.